So it's official. DC's better than Marvel right now. Because Black Adam is truly what DC deserved, and yeah, I just really hope we get more of this. Hi guys, just wanted to do a review of Black Adam, a movie that I've been looking forward to. Probably my most anticipated movie of this year. Yeah. I'm just so surprised how actually good it was, which, yes, it didn't disappoint. I got a bit nervous, like, oh man, is this movie gonna do good? But then when I finally watched it and I heard like early reviews before I watched it, oh, I was just so happy. Yeah, because I guess the critics right now are giving it like a bad rating, but man, if you watch this movie, you won't be let down, you won't be disappointed. To me, it's the Man of Steel we actually deserved in the first place. It kind of has that Man of Steel kind of storyline, but it does it like way better. Like the way how I wish Man of Steel was made, because I know, I know there's people who either love or hate Man of Steel. I was kind of in the middle because I did like the idea of Man of Steel, but they didn't execute it that well, and I just didn't write Henry Cavill's Superman that well, in my opinion. I mean, he definitely plays a good Superman, but it's like Andrew Garfield. Like he played a good Spider Man, and he easily could have been the best, just like Superman. But he didn't have a good script to truly show how good he can actually be. And I hope, like, since they're bringing back, well, spoilers if you don't already know, since Henry Cavill is going to be back as Superman, and they basically confirmed it at the end, in the end credits. Yeah, when Superman talks to, Black Adam saying we need to talk. Yeah, that was a cool last scene. After watching such a great movie, we just get that awesome end credit scene. Yeah, I can't wait to see where that leads, because it seems like he's going to be dealing with more than just Superman as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And it's just weird that Amanda Waller has all these connections, because she's basically the Nick Fury of this universe, even though she's a bad guy. Yeah, to me she's a bad guy, so I'm kind of surprised she has all those connections where she can literally talk to Superman. Yeah, I just find that a bit odd, but yeah. And obviously, I'm just gonna be talking about spoilers, so spoiler warning. But yeah, other than that, it was a great movie. Like The Rock, he was definitely born to play as Black Adam. He did such a good job. Like he was so good as Black Adam. He was definitely meant to play as him. Because when I first saw fan art of him as Black Adam, it just looked so right. Like it had to happen, and then it actually happened. Yeah, and it wasn't a letdown like with Mr. Fantastic with the Jim casting here from The Office. Like if he truly looked like he could have been a good Mr. Fantastic, but look what Marvel's done. Marvel, I've kind of, if DC can make more good movies like this, I'm done with Marvel. I don't even care about them anymore. It's about DC now. Like DC, they can actually be good again. Because the last time I truly loved DC was when I used to, watch those animated shows back in the day, like Justice League Unlimited, and then the Dark Knight movies. Like that was like the golden era. Even on all those comics that were coming out as well, those legendary comics, especially the Batman ones. But yeah, Batman was came back then anyway. But there was still other superheroes that I liked back then. But now we're in the dark times. The comics are doing awful. They're trying to completely change the characters, making them gay and stuff. It doesn't make no sense what they're doing with the characters. And then the last movies we got from DC weren't that great, but there were some good ones in the like kind of there. But like Aquaman was probably like the best I've got from the DCEU in my opinion. It's the only one I'd say is a great film. Shazam, that's a good film, but it's more PG. Where Black Adam is like, oh my god, they don't hold back with Black Adam. You see him kill people for the whole movie, even when the superheroes are trying to stop him. Like they just can't stop him, man. He's too powerful. They can't, because they try to save people, but then Black Adam just kills them. Which, oh yeah, the heroes in this movie. So you've got Doctor Fate, basically the better Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is just an idiot. I'm surprised he hasn't died yet, which he kind of has, but not the main one. I guess Hawkman, which he was pretty good in this movie. I actually liked him compared to the CW. Like they failed him in CW, like the Hourverse. Like he was so weak, but in this he's actually strong. Yeah. And then there's those two other characters, Atom Smasher. I kind of forgot the girl's name, but I liked her. Like she was alright. She was an okay character. Yeah, she has like some kind of wind powers. Yeah, and she's brainy, I guess. Atom Smasher, like he can grow a giant like Ant Man. Yeah, but yeah, I actually like the heroes in this because they're just trying to stop, Black Adam because they view him as like a huge threat. Like yeah, and I guess probably everything that happened with Superman in Man of Steel and how much damage was done. Like yeah, from then they probably start to be more careful. But then after everything after that, like with Justice League and Batman v Superman, yeah, I guess they have to be very careful who they like. They have to watch over people, and if they actually have information to know that they can actually be dangerous, yeah, they'll have to do something about it. And that's what they basically do. They send these heroes that have never been to this country to fight someone who I guess is shown to be the savior of this, country many years ago, more like thousands upon thousands of years ago, like 5,000 was it? Yeah, because he was like the original hero of that country, and he finally returns. But then they try to attack him, and then when Black Adam actually defeats the heroes, everyone's just cheering because they're just like their savior's back. And then the main boy is Amon. Yeah, he's kind of happy for him being back because he kind of narrates the story of his past of him being able to liberate the country because it was kind of enslaved by this king, and then it was Black Adam. Well, is it Teth Adam? That's his actual name. Who kind of frees the country, but then we kind of find out later on that it actually wasn't the son who freed him; it was actually the father. Yeah, and he almost ended up nearly killing everyone in the place as well. Because basically, we find out that the son who was the one who started to liberate people, and that's when the wizards kind of gave the power of Shazam to the boy, and he was kind of the hero for the people. But then I guess the one that we see, who we're supposed to think like he's the one who's gonna kill everyone, that actually isn't the same character. That's actually the son, and the father, he's actually the one who replaces the son because the son gives the power to the father because the son because basically the son kind of causes his mother's death in a way by trying to fight against the king who's trying to free Shabak. I think that's I guess in a way the main villain by the end of the movie. I mean the main villain for the beginning was basically Black Adam, or if you want to say the villains or the heroes, I don't know what to call them really. It's because there's different sides to things and it's more complex, and it just kind of gives a better idea of who actually is the hero and who's actually the villain. Or things just they're not just black and white; they're actually in the grey, and just the way how they do that idea is done really well. Yeah, I'm definitely impressed with how they did it. Because it could have just been another Man of Steel where they try to do something where it makes you question what the Man of Steel actually stands for. And for me, they failed with Man of Steel. But with this, they actually succeeded. And I wasn't really sure how this movie was gonna end. Was Black Adam gonna go full bad or full good? I'd say by the end he's actually in the middle. I mean, yeah, he does defeat the main villain Shabak, who nearly kills everyone, but I guess Doctor Fate, he was the one who kind of had ahead of everything that was going to happen to a degree, where he saves Hawkman because it seems like Hawkman was going to die, and I was just like, oh my god, they're going to kill Hawkman again, but no, Doctor Fate kind of finds a loophole, and he ends up dying instead because he's lived for so long, like hundreds of years, and well, is it 100 years? I'm not really sure. you know, so he decides to do the right thing. But I am happy with what they did with Doctor Fate, with his like how they actually showed how powerful he can actually be. Because all the things I've seen in live action, they've failed to do that. Because even in the animated shows, they actually showed his true power. But in the live action, like Smallville and basically the Arrowverse, they failed to show how powerful he actually can be. Same with Hawkeye, man. Like he can actually be a tank, but fighting against Black Adam, they didn't have a chance. Like, yeah, he's next level. But by the end, when I guess Black Adam views himself as the villain, like at the end of the second act, he kind of turns himself in and lets himself, get taken by Argus, if they even still called that. I'm not sure because it's basically Amanda Waller's people, like the put in Amanda Waller's prison. Well, they put Black Adam in Amanda Waller's prison, and then he's just supposed to sleep in this pod, and he can never really talk. So, because the only way to actually defeat Black Adam was to say Shazam, and they kind of found a way to say basically, you're basically the villain, and that's why we've been trying to stop you. And he kind of views himself like, wait, what if I actually destroyed this place back then? I mean, he definitely would have viewed himself as the villain, and he failed his son and everything. And then he does it again when he's trying to save Amon because he kind of gets kidnapped by a family member who he thought was his family, but really he was trying to bring back Shabak. And the mother, she's the one who finds the crown and brings it back. But then Shabak gets his hands on it and is able to, well, the person who's helping Shabak, who's an ancestor of the king from the past, he's able to bring back Shabak. And he easily could have destroyed that entire country, and probably things could have got even worse where it goes to other places, and then probably Superman and all them would have to fight him like the Justice League. Yeah, it would have been crazy, but Black Adam gets freed by Dr. Fate as his last stand, while also holding back the heroes because they're trying to save Dr. Fate at the same time. Like, that shows how powerful he was, and it is disappointing that that's the only thing that I'm disappointed. They killed Dr. Fate. Like, I'm just like, oh, not again, but. At least they showed his power, but still. Unless they give the mantle to someone else, because they still have the helmet. I mean, I'd like to see Daniel Radcliffe as Dr. Fate, that'd be cool. Yeah, if we ever get to see that. But yeah, I'm still kind of bummed they killed him. Yeah, he did a good job as the character, though. Probably my second favourite character in the movie, with the main character being my favourite. And Amon, he was a cool kid. Like, he was the one who actually motivated Black Adam to be more in the hero light, even though he's kind of in the middle, really. I mean, when he came back, he was just killing anything. I mean, even though he showed signs of being a good guy when he saved his mum. But yeah, I'm just kind of happy with how they ended with him, defeating Shabak. Like, you see him sitting on the phone, like in the comics, which was cool, like that phone. Yeah. And he just destroys the phone. And then they kind of leave it where he doesn't know what kind of person he's going to be, and basically Amanda Waller is sending like people after him anyway, so he's kind of viewed as a villain anyway. And then like at the end, you see Superman, having a talk with him, and he kind of has similarities to what happened with him and how people probably would have treated him, and Batman going after him, yeah, all those things. So maybe Superman would actually be on Black Adam's side unless he doesn't cross the line. I mean, Superman's had to kill as well. He's had to kill. And Batman, he's definitely killed, so. So, when it comes to those two heroes, to a degree, they can understand where he's coming from, but if it goes too far, innocent people could get killed because Superman's been there, like, he's destroyed a lot of Metropolis in his first movie, so, yeah. And people could view him as the villain for that, like Batman did, so who knows how they'll get on, but I guess we'll see in the future. But yeah, that was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. Probably the best DCEU movie I've seen since Aquaman, because that was my favourite, but now it's this one. Yeah, maybe DC can actually be good again. It's just, oh man, with Aquaman 2 and The Flash, with the controversy with, Amber Heard and Ezra Miller. Oh, I don't know how those movies are going to turn out, but I just hope we get to see more of Black Adam because they did a really good job with him, and I'm very intrigued to see what they do with Superman now since he's back. Yes, maybe they'll actually give him enough No Way Home redemption where we'll actually get to see how good of a Superman he could actually be. Yeah, that'd be cool. But until then, I guess I'll be signing off. Such a great film. I probably rated like a 9.8 out of 10. There's just a few things that just it was so close to being a 10 out of 10, but there was just a few things where I'm just like, you nearly had it, but yeah. And you can probably kind of tell with what those things could be with, Dr. Fate and, yeah, just a few other things, but yeah. Other than that, it was a brilliant movie from DC. Like, I'm shocked they made this in the DCEU because when it comes to the solo movies like Batman and the Joker, they're wow, they're brilliant, man. I don't know, I did a click and instead of wow like that. But yeah, great film. Hope you guys get to see it. It's an awesome movie. Also, I appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Alright, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.